All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into the mind of a pretty, let's say, provocative philosopher, Slavoj Žižek. We're going to unpack one of his big ideas, something he calls absolute recoil. And trust me, it's a way of thinking that kind of flips everything on its head. It helps us see the hidden logic in just about everything, from what we want to what we're terrified of.
Okay, so to get our heads around this, let's start with someone we all know, right? Steve Jobs. I mean, the guy was a legend for his products, but the way he thought about creating them, that was maybe even more revolutionary.
So get this, a journalist asks him about market research, the whole ask the customer what they want thing, and Jobs comes back with this. He basically just throws the whole idea of customer feedback out the window. It's not just about selling stuff, he's getting at a much, much deeper logic here.
I mean, that sounds totally backwards, doesn't it? We're always told the customer's always right. So what's he talking about? Imposing your desire on the world? That sounds a little bit like something a dictator would do, right?
Well, this is where Žižek's idea of an authentic master comes in. He'd say that someone like Jobs isn't trying to guess what you want or manipulate you. No, it's the opposite. The master is so incredibly faithful to their own vision, their own obsession, that they just create something new, and then they just put it out there and see if the world catches on. They're not following trends, they're literally making them.
Now, this whole idea, where opposites aren't really opposites, where something can secretly be the same as its own enemy, this is a huge theme for Žižek. And you start to see this pattern pop up in some really, really weird places.
Take, for example, this old novel by G.K. Chesterton. The setup is pure spy thriller. You've got your good guys, a top-secret police unit, trying to keep order. And then you've got the bad guys, this shadowy council of anarchists who want to, burn the world down. The mission? Simple. Infiltrate the bad guys, stop the chaos.
But here's where it gets wild. The main detective, he works his way into this anarchist council, and he finds out that every single one of them is also a secret cop just like him. And the big boss, the terrifying, mysterious leader of the whole anarchist plot, a guy they only call Sunday, turns out he's their own police chief. The head of the good guys is also the head of the bad guys.
It's just such a perfect illustration of this idea, right? The force for order and the force for chaos, they're the exact same thing. The takeaway here is that sometimes the biggest enemy you're fighting isn't some other out there. It's actually a hidden part of your own system. You're literally fighting yourself.
Okay, so why do we need these weird head-scratching paradoxes? What's the point? Well, to dig a little deeper, let's talk about a story a lot of you probably know, Life of Pi.
So you know the story. It's this incredible, almost magical tale of survival. A young boy named Pi gets stranded on a lifeboat for 227 days with a huge Bengal tiger named Richard Parker. Just wild.
But is that what really happened? See, that's not the only story Pi tells. When he's finally rescued, the people interviewing him don't buy the tiger story. So he tells them another one, and this one is a lot darker.
In story number 2, there are no animals. It's just human survivors, Pi, his mom, a sailor, and the ship's cook. And what happens is just brutal. The cook kills the sailor for food. Then he kills Pi's mother. And finally, Pi kills the cook. It turns out the animals were just stand-ins. The vicious hyena, that was the cook. The gentle orangutan, his mother. And Richard Parker, the tiger, well, the tiger was Pi.
So when Pi presents these two versions of the story, he asks the officials which one they prefer. And they choose the one with the tiger. Why? Because the truth, the raw, ugly truth of what people are capable of, is just too much. It's unbearable. And here's the key insight. The tiger story isn't just some fairy tale escape. It's a necessary fiction. It's a lie that actually allows the truth of what happened, the trauma, the horror, to even be told and processed. In a way, the lie becomes part of the truth, because it's what makes that brutal reality something you can live with.
All right, so Life of Pi shows us how a kind of fiction, a lie, can actually be essential for structuring our reality. Now, let's take this a step further and look at something even more powerful, the way a simple action can create its total opposite. How telling someone no can become the very thing that creates their deepest desire.
For this, we're going way back to the 19th century, to the story of the great abolitionist Frederick Douglass. When he was just a young slave boy, the wife of his master actually started teaching him how to read. But when the master found out, he absolutely lost it. He forbade it,
And more importantly, he explained exactly why it was so dangerous.
And the master's logic was, brutally clear. He said that if Douglas learned to read, it would forever unfit him to be a slave. It would give him ideas, make him unhappy with the situation. Basically, it would make him impossible to control.
And for Douglas, hearing that was like a lightning bolt. In that one moment, by forbidding reading and explaining why it was so powerful, his master had actually shown him the exact path to freedom. The prohibition didn't just stop him, it did the opposite. It created this burning, unstoppable desire to learn.
And this is the absolute recoil. You see how it works? The effect, Douglas's intense desire to be free, kind of loops back and changes the meaning of the cause, the master's prohibition. The very act meant to keep him enslaved becomes, in hindsight, the thing that set him on the path to freedom. It's a total reversal.
Okay, so what does any of this have to do with us? We live in a world that's the total opposite, right? We're not forbidden from things. We're told we're free to choose absolutely anything we want. But think about it. We're just constantly hammered with these supposedly free choices. What should your career be? What ideology should you follow? Heck, even just what should you watch on Netflix tonight? It's this endless pressure to make the right choice, to live your best life. And honestly, it can be completely paralyzing. It creates this crazy anxiety.
And here's the final twist, the final paradox. Maybe in our world of so-called endless freedom, where our desires are actually being shaped for us all the time without us even realizing it, maybe what we really need is a master. Not someone to boss us around, but a person or an idea that shakes us up, that breaks us out of this illusion of choice and shows us a new way of wanting something we didn't even know was possible.
So that's the big, provocative question that Žižek leaves us with. It forces us to take a hard look at the world around us, at the hidden rules that tell us what to want. And it makes you ask yourself, if our deepest desires are born out of what we're told we can't have, or even what we're told we can have, then how free are we, really?